Tsaritsa Katarina in Warhammer III Total War is a powerful sorceress, shrewd diplomat, skillful general, good administrator and capable warrior. A person without these character traits couldn't be in Katarina's place, a ruler of a strong, militarized empire, constantly and desperately struggling for survival. No surprise that Katarina's image and character are based off two real women rulers of Russia. First, Katarina is based off the Great Princess Olga. In Russian title system, the term Great Prince is equivalent to the Western European king. Olga, which is the Russian version of the Germanic name Helga, ruled the ancient Rus in 945-960. She was very active at state building, divided the country into administrative units, made a better organized taxation system. Olga built pogosty all over the realm. Pogosty were small fortresses playing the role of tax collection centers, trade centers, and strong points of the Great Prince authority. Olga was the first Christian ruler of Rus, and the stone architecture in our country started under her reign. The first stone churches in our land were built. Looks like she also was a good mother. Her son Sviatoslav, who became the Great Prince after Olga's death, was one of the greatest generals of his time. Sviatoslav accomplished many glorious victories over nomads and Byzantines. The second character Katarina is based off is the Empress Catherine II the Great. She is one of the 5 greatest rulers in Russian history, together with Ivan III, Peter I, Lenin and Stalin. Catherine II was the Empress of the Russian Empire in 1762-1796. Under her rule, science and education developed actively. She founded the first educational institution for women in Russia, Smolny Institute. Catherine invited and brought especially many scientists from Western Europe to Russia. The Empress herself conducted personal correspondence with the major philosophers of her time, Walter, Diderot, etc. The Russian economy blossomed under Catherine. The number of factories and manufacturers doubled, as well as the produced amount of many resources. The Russian Empire's trade turnover increased much. During the Catherine's reign, we had many great victories over the Turks. Russia gained the northern Black Sea region, the Crimea Peninsula and parts of the Caucasus. Catherine, together with Austria and Prussia, took part in the division of Poland. Alexander Suvorov, the greatest general of all time, who commanded 60 battles and never lost, served Catherine. It would seem Catherine understood people very well, since she gathered around herself great statesmen, military men, scientists, administrators, economists, etc., who practically organized the golden age of the Russian Empire. However, Catherine had one extremely important flaw: a complete dependence on the ruling social class of the Russian Empire, the nobility, dворяне. Dворяне had murdered Catherine's husband, the juvenile Damas Peter III, and put her on the throne. Catherine understood she couldn't make the nobility to stand attention like Peter the Great once did. If she'd tried to do so, she would have been killed by the same nobles who enthroned her. As a result, it is under Catherine's rule that dворяне got their wildest rights and privileges. They were set free from military service, while the Russian peasants, over 90% of the population of Russia, became property of their landlords completely. The nobility still actually worked under Catherine, but they got so free to do whatever they desired in her reign that soon after her death they became nothing more than parasites. We could finish with Katarina here, but she's based off one more character, a fictional one. At the first glance, that character has no connection to Russia, but she does add to Katarina's personality exactly due to our history. It's easy to see in Katarina a reworked Snow Queen from the fairy tale of the same name by Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen was a great Danish fairy tales writer who lived in 1805-1875. Aside from the Snow Queen, he wrote such world-famous fairy tales as The Little Mermaid, The Ugly Duckling, Thumbelina, The Princess and the Pea, The Steadfast Tin Soldier, Oля Lukoye, etc. The Snow Queen, like other Andersen's fairy tales, was fantastically popular in the Soviet Union. Children read the Snow Queen non-stop. Soviet artists made school plays and full-fledged theater plays, made a wonderful movie and cartoon. My own father has played all roles in the Snow Queen school plays while he was a school student in 1963-1973. Thus, the image of Tsaritsya Katarina refers both to the great Princess Olga, Catherine the Great, and to the Soviet childhood of our parents. That's all for today, comrades. Maybe Katarina is a reference to some other historical and fictional characters. Comment below if you have any other thoughts on the fearsome ruler of Kislev.